Hello and welcome to Impactability, the Nonprofit Leaders Podcast. This is a show that explores the landscape of the nonprofit organization, big and small, offers some incredibly helpful information and resources, and gives nonprofits a place to share ideas and get advice. Our show is sponsored by Sukup Strategic Solutions, offering a wide variety of services to help nonprofits maximize their impact. We're excited to bring you the stories and advice of leaders in the nonprofit sector to help you succeed in your nonprofit. So let's get started.
Welcome to Impactability, the Nonprofit Leaders Podcast. I'm Cheryl Sukup, your host, and we really appreciate you joining us today. We have a great episode lined up for you today with a wonderful nonprofit leader named Kayoko Mitsumatsu. Kayoko, thanks so much for joining me today as a guest on the show, and I hope I did your name justice.
Yeah, you did perfectly. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Kayoko. All right. Well, will you start by telling us a little bit about yourself, Kayoko, and the mission of the nonprofit organization you currently serve?
Yes. Thank you so much again. I'm Kayoko from, I live in Los Angeles, but I'm originally from Japan. I was born and raised in Tokyo. And when I started this organization, I was a documentary filmmaker in 2007. So it's been 18 years already.
Wow.
I was doing a documentary about microfinancing. Some of you know that, Dr. Muhammad Yunus received Nobel Peace Prize for these small loans that change for women's, especially lives in developing countries. So I was doing that documentary, and then back home, when I back to LA, I started practicing yoga, and I got very much hooked. I love exercise, so I love it. And I started feeling very happy and healthy every day after the class. There's a bliss. If you know yoga practice, everybody knows that. And then so the timing was like I was focusing on helping, underserved women in developing countries with like $10 a month as a microloan, right? And then I realized I was spending that much money for one class of yoga. Now it's $30 or $40 in LA, but it was around $10, $15. And I thought, if everybody who's practicing benefiting from this practice so much, we need to do something, give back to the source, India, where yoga is from, where so many millions of people still live under poverty, And so if we can put $10 or $15 class fee into a pot, we can make a huge microloan, resource. And give back to Mother India. That was the idea. And I started talking to my teacher, my studio owner, and friends. And Los Angeles, as you know, is like a mecca of yoga. So there are a lot of yoga teachers who've been to India, students too. So they also the poverty issues there, but they didn't know how to get involved and help. So I guess, I was lucky in that sense. I was the first one who came up with this idea of let's give back to Mother India as a yoga community. That's how I started. So we created a mantra: for the cost of one class, you can change a life. And that's taken off to now 30 countries. And we're supporting more than 3,000 women and children in India today.
That's incredible. That is so incredible. From the small little idea to 3,000 women's lives being impacted, and their families' lives too, right?
Yes.
Incredible. So the name of your organization is Yoga Gives Back, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Excellent. All right. Well, tell me a little bit about what inspires you about the work that you do. And you can tell a story if you'd like.
Yes. So as I said, I started thinking about focusing on just giving back to India for the gift of yoga we all benefit from. So I was thinking more like in the mindset of sending money there to help women, especially. But then as I started to grow this organization and I started meeting people who support us, so we created this ambassadors program where yoga teachers, leaders in the communities join us as ambassadors, and they fundraise for us, essentially. Now they're in like 20 or 30 countries now. So I realized that I'm creating this amazing network of like very much like-minded people, really selfless people who really want to give back. So I didn't realize at that time when I started, but I created this amazing peer group that I call like my brothers and sisters. Even if I've never met them, I know that I just really like them and feel bonded right away. So in that sense, we created this community of global network, as well as now in India too. We have brothers and sisters who we are supporting with education funds also now. So they are the ones who become change makers, and they become like my teachers in life. So this
That's
whole
so great.
community we created is fascinating.
That's amazing. So you're helping them out and they're giving back to you too. So
Exactly.
that's wonderful. Well, great. I would say that's definitely inspirational.
Thank you.
Tell me, is there a particular success story that you'd like to share? I know I saw this amazing video that you had done, and there's a lot of success stories. So, is there one that you could pick that comes to mind that you'd like to share with us?
Yes, there is one student, as like you said, we have hundreds of stories, and as a filmmaker, I take my camera every year and I make tons of stories. There's a footage I have to edit. I need Brad's help. But anyways, there's a boy I met. My first trip to India was 2007, and I went to a small village outside of Bangalore, which is like IT capital of India. And this is a very poor village. And I met a woman, Jayashuri, a mother of two boys, who just received small microloan to get out of poverty. That itself was great. And she has her eldest son was 15. His name was Gurprasad. He couldn't even speak a word of English. And it was my first filming. So I'm talking and I'm filming, and it was a mess. But anyways, he said he wants to become a doctor and serve his poor community because that's his mother's dream. And his mother was like really repeating the same thing. I want my son to become a doctor. So I realized, and then also I met a lot of women, microloan recipients, who share that I don't want my children to live like me, which is a very strong message, very sad, but their mother's drive to make sure my kids get education so they can get ahead, not live like me, was very strong. So we created a scholarship for higher education. And this boy, 15-year-old Gurprasad, is the first one who received a scholarship. And he really inspired us to create we have now a program called 5-year scholarship. We call it She. But she was created because of this boy, Gurprasad, because he just was so dedicated and hardworking boy to become a doctor. I witness every year. So we started giving him funds to go to college. He went to dental college to become a dentist. Then he went to residency and he became like emergency doctor. He went to master's degree and to become a surgeon. And we really, I followed. I have a lot of films about his journey, but we really paid the whole tuition until he graduated. And this kind of person's drive, and also thinking always to give back to the community, not to become a doctor, to become rich and buy car or house, but really thinking always about giving free cancer-free clinic in his village and stuff like that. So this was a very inspiring example, and hundreds of people since then that we've seen and we supported to graduate from college. All of them are the same. They really want to give back to the community in addition to help families. So this has been like one success story of Gurprasad, followed by hundreds in the same pattern. That's really inspiring.
That is really inspiring because not only are you helping them, but then they're helping others. So it's like you're magnifying your effect. It's exponential.
Exactly.
That's amazing. Well, thinking back on your life journey, right? So now you're inspiring all these other people to give back and be, givers and generous and doing work that's helping their communities. Thinking about how you became interested in the nonprofit world, what really got you started? What was it that sparked your interest in making a difference?
So it's been 18 years, but the first 8 years, I continued to do producing and working for documentary filmmaking. And as a side job, I was doing Yoga Gives Back. So I was completely volunteer. I went to India with my money and everything. But then I realized Yoga Gives Back is growing so much, and I have to make this sustainable, right? Otherwise, I can't continue to support all these people. And also, I already reached out to so many people around the world. So at some point, I realized that I have to switch my job. So I completely left my job. I was working for Japanese National Public Television, NHK. So I left that job and I became completely full-time, even though first 2 years I didn't get any salary or anything like that. My family, my husband helped me to get through. But that's how so it was like a general kind of flow of situation that made me focus on this nonprofit. I wasn't really thinking to become a leader of nonprofit.
I think that happens to a lot of us, right? We just something happens and we take a different path in life.
Exactly.
It's really great that you had the support of your family to really, put yourself out there and take this big risk and work in this nonprofit full time like that without getting paid, knowing that your hard work would eventually allow you to take a salary. And I think a lot of nonprofit professionals start out that way. So I just want to say thank you to you and your family for giving of yourselves and, making it possible for this organization to thrive because you're helping a lot of people.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Well, what's one thing you know now that you wish you had known when you began your involvement with nonprofits?
Well, so when I started, I had no budget or anything, right? So I was looking for everything I needed. I looked for a volunteer. So, for example, to apply for 501c3, tax exempt status, we needed a lawyer. I didn't know anybody who could help me. So we just put in a Craigslist or something, and somebody said, "I'll do it." And that was...
I didn't know that about your organization. That's very neat.
Yes.
Craigslist. Wow.
Yes, but it was lucky and unlucky because I trusted him. We met many times. I trusted him. And 1 year passed and nothing's going on. And we discovered he wasn't doing anything.
Oh, no. That's terrible. Okay. Sometimes you get what you pay for, I suppose.
Exactly. Luckily, I had a friend by then who is a lawyer who could take over and did it for me, for us. So that was good. But so these are like pain that I had to learn, So sometimes you can trust volunteer people, but sometimes you have to do due diligence a little bit. I tend to trust everyone who says yes, because I'm so wishful thinking. But and most of the times, everybody who volunteers for us has been fantastic. But that particular thing like that, made me realize, nothing is easy.
Nothing is easy, and you have to do your due diligence, right?
That's true. Exactly.
Okay. Well, all right. So tell me, what are some of the best resources that have helped you along the way in your nonprofit leadership role with Yoga Gives Back?
Yeah, probably two that come to mind right away. One is people, network of people. Like, as I said, for my organization and for this, everything we do, without a network of yoga teachers, it could have not done any of the work, So this was huge. So that's the huge resource. I really call them superpowers even today. And that's how we grew and expand to 30 countries. So that's one. And number two is like a board member who has nonprofit expertise, because when I started, I had no idea about nonprofit. I didn't even know how to invite board of directors and all these things. But so initially it was like, I didn't really screen anybody. I thought anybody who wants to help me, just join, right? And there were some people always who had expertise. And these people really gave me like things that I had no idea about, how to create a strategic planning and discuss about these things with board members, how to create budget, for example. So I think these kind of like experts, listening to the expert is another very important thing.
That's great. I think a lot of people don't know how to do those things when they first start a nonprofit, but yeah, they're really critically important, strategic planning and doing your budget. So
Yes,
I'm glad that you had board members that could help you with that.
I'm still learning.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break right now, and then we'll be back after this. Stay tuned.
Major gifts are the ultimate source of funding for nonprofits. They can help you fulfill your mission and achieve your vision. Having a strong major gifts program should be a priority, but where do you begin? The best place to start is with Sukup Strategic Solutions. We create transformational change by working collaboratively with you to raise funds. Our fundraising consultants will assess your organization's fundraising capacity and develop a plan that serves as a blueprint for your fundraising success. From portfolio development and prospect research to donor cultivation and stewardship plans, solicitation advice and written gift proposals, strategic use of your donor data, and even fundraising training for your board, we can help your organization develop the tools, knowledge, and skills you need to succeed. Visit our website today at SukupStrategicSolutions.com and schedule a free consultation. That's SOUKUP StrategicSolutions.com. When it comes to major gifts, the investment you make can make all the difference, and Sukup Strategic Solutions can show you how.
Welcome back. I'm speaking with Kayoko Mitsumatsu of Yoga Gives Back. Kayoko, let's continue our conversation. What's the biggest challenge you have with your nonprofit leadership role now, and how are you going to overcome it? It's something you're struggling with.
Yeah, that's $1 million question. Well, I wish I have the answer. Fundraising is definitely the toughest responsibility and my biggest job. I didn't know when I started Yoga Gives Back that that's my job, So the more we grow, the more we want to do, and we see more possibilities, and we see all the people's lives we've been able to touch and transform, and in return we receive so much. So there is no end. So we want to do more. So how can I raise more money? That's the biggest question. I don't have answer.
All right. Well, we'll talk. We'll talk more about that.
Please help us.
All right. Now listen to the podcast too, because you'll hear what some of the other people on the podcast are saying about how they are succeeding and some of the things that they think help with fundraising and gaining support. So anyway, tell me now about a surprise that you've had in the last few months. Is there something that you can think of that was maybe a big surprise?
I guess there are a few like small surprises every day, but maybe the biggest thing it stays in my mind is like, so there is a sponsor who could have given us cash sponsorship. He said that last year. So I went back in end of January, early February, and this whole thing about the tariff discussion impacted this company because they produce products in China, and we don't know where it's going, right? So that was a big surprise at how that kind of political things can affect us, but in a very different way. And so he said, his priorities are to make sure that he can make his business going, right?
Yeah,
so
It's interesting how there are so many kind of like ripple effects from the tariffs and all the changes in the government, that even if you're not directly affected, it's the ripple effect from others that are directly affected that can really get you.
Exactly. And I heard some Canadian supporters saying like they don't want to support anything to do with US. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm based in US, but we're sending money to India. So we have nothing to, please don't think like that. And I had to have a conversation. Somebody really told me like, you have to talk to people like that because, it's a response, like immediate response to something negative. But when you think bigger picture, it solves. So, but yeah, that's been a little surprise.
Yeah, that's a challenge. All right. If there was one piece of advice you would give to other nonprofit CEOs, what would it be?
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm in a position to give you advice, give others advice. I want people to tell me their advice because I guess one thing I can be proud really is that I've been doing this 18 years. I can't believe it. And it is a steady growth, but we have grown quite a bit when I think about it. We started supporting 50 mothers and 5 young girls. Now we support 3,000, over 3,500 women and children. So what was the question? Sorry.
Well, it's okay. If there was one piece of advice you could give to another that you would want to give to another nonprofit CEO, what would it be?
Yes, I think maybe it's different if you're a founder. If you're hired executive, it might feel differently. But when it's your baby like this, like mine,
speak to the Kayoko. Speak to the founder.
Okay. Yeah. So as a founder, I think the best thing is just to always come back to why you started this and the passion that you have had and you have always, even if there is a difficult time, and think about the people. I always think about Indian girls and boys and women's eyes. Their eyes give me so much energy. And so I know a lot of nonprofit organizations do something good for the society. So when it's hard times, just think about the, changes you have been able to make.
Yeah, that's the best thing, to go right back to the mission and the impact that you're having on real people's lives.
Yeah.
All right, Kayoko, I want to ask you now, if there was one piece of advice you could give to nonprofit board members, what would it be?
Yeah, I think just to get actively involved. And if you cannot perform what the organization needs from you, maybe you should resign. I realize more and more that active board members is really key. And when I have few new members who are extremely active and very strategic thinkers and take actions, it makes huge difference.
Sure, it does.
Yeah.
Sometimes a board member that's not active can be more work. And so, and it can also kind of reduce the morale of others. And then it can also sometimes just set a tone for the board of inactivity and disengagement. So if there's too many board members who are like that. So I think that's good advice to, if you're staying on a board just because you feel bad, you don't have time, but you feel bad resigning or not honoring your commitment, then you're saying you'd rather just be able to say thank you and I appreciate what you've done, but it's no problem.
Yeah.
Go ahead and resign.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Well, oh, go ahead.
No, I feel like with everything, when one door closes, next door always opens.
It's true. All right. Is there anything that you have read or listened to recently that has inspired you in relation to your work?
What I read is mainly like yoga and philosophy things. I try to study that, and that really leads my life. So things like yoga and Buddhism and Hinduism and all this, a lot of religions share the same universal truth, which is like we are all connected. We are all the same. We all want to do the same thing, So just to have that kind of view, try to have that, no matter how divisive this world today on a daily basis is, at the end of the day and at the bottom, everybody wants the same thing: being healthy, being happy, and being with friends, right? So, and with love. So it's not necessarily non-profit organization or administration related, but I think it comes back to that kind of message. That,
sometimes the things that inspire us in our work really don't have anything to do with like nonprofit management or fundraising or a book on managing your board or anything like that. It's something that connects us to our mission. So that was a great answer.
Thank you.
All right. So, Kayoko, if you had to write a book about your experience working with nonprofits, what would you write about?
That's a really good question, because this has been my project last couple of years. I've been asked, to write a book, and I just don't like to write about myself but I have seen, so many nonprofit leaders write a book, and that draws attention. So I decided, if that helps my organization to be more visible, I'll do it. So I've been working with my advisors. My husband also is a professional. So I'm really a little bit more focused now. And I realize I get asked quite often this, like, why did you start this? You're a Japanese woman from Japan and so on. So I realized my background, why I felt so strongly to give back to India, and especially women, as a Japanese woman, a girl who grew up in Japan, is very important, because that's where my gender inequality and strong voice advocacy within myself. I was advocating, just really struggling myself, because nobody else was voicing. But anyways, I have this very strong feeling about how girls and women should have equal opportunity for their lives. So when I went to India first time, a meeting with these very poor women saying the same thing, and I really felt, oh my God, we are saying the same thing. So that's the part I really want to convey to the readers, and in my book, and I have so many experiences of what I have actually experienced as a young girl or working woman in Japan, and how that affected me, and how I see that in India in a very different scale. Child marriage, human trafficking doesn't take place in Japan, but how this gender discrimination can totally affect the community, of course, women's lives, but community and country. And when the women are empowered, country is empowered. So that kind of message, I think.
Oh, well, when is that book going to be ready? Because I can't wait to read it.
Well, actually, I'm giving myself deadline. So in 2 years, we'll be celebrating 20th anniversary of YGB. So it's good to say these things publicly, so it pressures me to keep working. So hopefully, in 2 years.
Okay, great. I'll be looking for it. I'll be asking you.
Thank you. Thank you.
In your opinion, what is the most important strength or personality trait someone would need to succeed in the nonprofit industry?
This I can answer very clearly. Passion and resilience. That's it. You have to have both. Yeah, and I tell myself, and I tell my husband all the time, if this was easy, everybody else would have been doing this a long time ago. But it's not easy. It's very difficult. But it's not negative. It doesn't have negative sense of difficulty, because there is passion. There's commitment. There's a deep calling inside me. So it's never negative. But you have to have resilience. And again, this is my thing is yoga world. So yoga, physical practice, mental practice really helps me. Meditation, breathing, some stretch, these things all help me. So if you're not doing yoga as a nonprofit leader and you feel stressed out, I highly recommend it.
That is good advice. All right. Well, tell me, for our last question, as we start to wrap up, what would be one? You gave really good advice right there about the yoga, by the way, because
Okay.
I know yoga has helped me with my stress level so much, and it's just created a sense of peace in times when I needed it the most.
Great.
And I can also say that yoga has been very healing in times of grief and great difficulty. So it's a very powerful practice.
Yes.
So any nonprofit leader out there, if you have not already, I suspect many have already tried yoga, but if any of you have not tried yoga, it's the good advice that she's giving you here. All right, Kayoko, what is one piece of advice you'd offer someone just starting out in the nonprofit sector today? What would you want to make sure they know before they get started?
Yeah, I don't think about too many long-term things, because when I think about it, when I started, it was like, let's do it, and there was this passion and a goal. And the most important thing, I think, when you start organization is to have a team of friends or team of supporters who really share your passion and who can think out of the box and, bring some new ideas, connect different people, things like that. But I think the team, you can do so little by yourself, but you can do so much when you have a great group of people.
Love that. That's great advice. All right, Kayoko, I want to say thank you so much for your time with us today. Where can listeners find you online?
Yes. So yogagivesback.org is our website, and we have social media, Yoga Gives Back, all over the place. And my films, a lot of YGB films are on YouTube.
Great. Yeah, check out her films. They are really, I saw only one of them. I didn't know you had multiple. I'm going to go check that out myself because the one I saw was really powerful. I loved it.
Thank you so much. Which one did you see?
The one that you had sent out through email to Deborah, she shared it with me, and I thought it was just really powerful.
Oh, thank you so much.
It had a number of different stories, and I really loved it.
Oh, great! Thank you.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much for your time today. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for sharing in such a humble way too. You know so much. You've done so much. It's incredible what you've done, and you make it seem like it's like this tiny little thing. It's ginormous. You've had such a huge impact, and I just want to say thank you not only for being here today, but for all you do for our community and our world. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Sharon. I'm grateful that Sukup, experts are helping me too. I really need experts' help. So, like Deborah is helping me a lot on the, almost daily basis.
I'm so glad. That's so good.
Yes.
It's great. It's a worthy cause to be helping for sure.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We love to hear from our listeners, so please reach out and let us know what you liked and what else you'd like to hear. You can find our email address and links to our social accounts in the show notes. If you enjoyed hearing from today's guest, we encourage you to reach out and connect with them. See the show notes for their contact information. To get more great content in your inbox each month, sign up for our newsletter at impactability.live. That's impactability.live. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe to the show on YouTube or in your favorite podcast app. That way you'll get new episodes downloaded as soon as they come out. Finally, we'd be grateful if you would give us a positive review or a rating so that your peers in the nonprofit industry can find us as well. From all of us at Impactability, thanks for listening, and thank you for all you do to make the world a better place through your nonprofit.